Hello, my period 4 and period 5 class. I am very excited to be making this video for you. We are going to be reading chapter 1 of The Wizard of Oz. And I know that you should have your packet. And if you don't, you can find your packet as a PDF on your Teams app under Files. Okay? But you should have already read this, but because we haven't seen each other in a while, we're going to reread it. Okay? So I'm looking at chapter 1, page 1, The Cyclone. Dorothy lived in a small house in Kansas with Uncle Henry, Aunt Em, and a little black dog called Toto. There were no trees and no hills in Kansas, and it was often very windy. Sometimes the wind came very fast and very suddenly. That was a cyclone, and it could blow trees, people, and buildings away. There were cellars under all the houses, and when a cyclone came, people went down into their cellars and stayed there. One day, Uncle Henry came out and looked up at the sky. Then he ran quickly back into the house. "There's a cyclone coming," he called to Aunt Em and Dorothy. "We have to go down into the cellar." They ran to the door of the cellar, but Toto was afraid. He ran under the bed. Dorothy ran after him. "Quick!" shouted Aunt Em from the cellar. "Leave the dog and come down into the cellar." Dorothy picked up Toto and ran to the cellar door. But before she got there, the cyclone hit the house. Then a very strange thing happened. The house moved, and it went slowly up, up, up into the sky, and Aunt Em and Uncle Henry were down in the cellar under the ground. But the house, Dorothy, and Toto went up to the top of the cyclone. Dorothy looked through the open cellar door and saw hills and houses a long way down. She closed the cellar door quickly. The wind blew the house along for many hours. At first, Dorothy was afraid. "But we can't do anything about it," she said to Toto. "So let's wait and see." After 2 or 3 hours, she and Toto fell asleep. When Dorothy opened her eyes again, the house was on the ground, and everything was quiet. She picked up Toto, opened the door, and went out. They saw tall trees, beautiful flowers, and little houses with blue doors. I lost my earbud. Dorothy gave a little cry. "This isn't Kansas, Toto. Who are these people?" There were 3 very short men in blue hats, coats, and trousers, and a little old woman in a beautiful white dress. The woman walked up to Dorothy and said, thank you, now the people are free." "What are you thanking me for?" Dorothy asked. "You killed the Witch of the East," said the woman. She was a bad witch, and her people, the Munchkins, were very afraid of her. Now she is dead, and we and the Munchkins want to thank you. The little old woman and the three little men all smiled happily at Dorothy. But Dorothy did not understand. "But I didn't kill anybody," she said. "Your house fell on the witch," laughed the little woman. "Look, you can see her feet." Dorothy looked and saw 2 feet with red shoes under the house. Suddenly, one of the Munchkins gave a shout. "Look, her feet are disappearing in the hot sun." A second later, there were only red shoes. "Good," said the little woman. She picked up the shoes and gave them to Dorothy. "They're your shoes now. You must wear them because a witch's shoes can sometimes do wonderful things." "Thank you," said Dorothy. "But who are you? Are you a Munchkin?" "No, but I'm their friend. I'm the Witch of the North, and I came to see the dead witch of the East. But don't be afraid. I'm a good witch." But